Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski, and today I'm going to be covering the September 2022 PvP tier changes that have happened in PokeMMO. So these are all the Pokemon that are either moving up to OU, down to UU, down to NU, etc., etc. Just Pokemon being moved all around, and guys, I gotta say, these might be some of the craziest moves I've ever seen. There's some nut stuff happening, especially with the NU tier, which has historically been my favorite tier. I've been playing NU since around early 2014, maybe late 2013, but it's crazy right now, and I could do an entire video. I've talked about it before. I've made videos talking about my desires with wanting to add RU and PU and balancing out the tier, the lower tiers and everything like that. But first things first, let's go ahead and just cover all the changes. So for anyone who's just here for that straight up information, I'm gonna give you that, and then I'll do some rambling after. So I don't want to waste your guys' time. So let's go ahead and get into it. The initial post starts off with, I want to clarify this in itself. As stated at the beginning of the season, this season has a 4.36% cutoff. So for those who don't know what that means, the way PvP tiers are decided are based upon usage percentage, so how often a Pokemon is used, as well as divine intervention via the tier council, which are essentially people who decide the tiers of Pokemon. So it's a mixture of personal and manual change, as well as if a Pokemon is used very, very often, it's considered to probably be very, very good. It'll get moved up. If a Pokemon's not being used very much, it'll get moved down, etc., etc. So let's continue. As such, the following things are going to be moving unless any bans occur to prevent them from happening. If you have concerns, make them heard, allowing for a longer discussion period this month, starting the thread 2 days early given all the movements. And I appreciate that from Munya. I really, really do. Let's cover the first ones. The three Pokemon being moved up from UU to OU: Ludicolo, Espeon, Empoleon. Ludicolo and Espeon make total sense to me. Ludicolo is a really difficult Pokemon to answer in rain. It's just so tough to switch into. It does so much damage, as well as having so much sustain with the Stab Giga Drain, as well as obviously having so much speed due to the Swift Swim, and it also has some surprisingly decent bulk, as well as being a really just difficult Pokemon to answer because of its typing. That grass water typing is super unique, so it's a really tough Pokemon to answer. Does a lot of damage, makes total sense. Rain's really strong, it fits in easily into the metagame, it makes sense. Espeon is the only Magic Bounce Pokemon in PokeMMO. Total no-brainer, it should be an OU. Just such a strong ability, and a really good Pokemon in my opinion as well. Empoleon, I don't understand as much, not because I don't think it's powerful enough, because I don't understand this Pokemon enough. I haven't practiced enough with this Pokemon. I haven't played enough. I haven't done enough research, so I'm not qualified to talk on Empoleon, so I'm simply not going to. Porygon Z, this one I also don't understand super well, but it makes sense to me. Porygon Z is often seen as the Dragon Killer, so this one got banned to borderline 1 from UU, and essentially what this means, to my understanding, if I'm correct, is that it's technically in OU, but it's not really quite as strong as the OU Pokemon. So it's a step like right up, it's in between. It's a step right above UU, so you won't be able to use it in UU, to my understanding. But it's also not quite considered an OU Pokemon, but you can use it. You have to use it in OU is essentially the meme, and it makes sense. Porygon Z has access to agility. It has access to Nasty Plot. It's a really slow Pokemon, but it has some really decent natural bulk due to its typing and due to its bulk. But it has a monstrous 130 base special attack, which is quite strong. And it can be a really tough Pokemon to deal with at times. Scarf Porygon Z, making up for its speed, can just be a real demon. I understand that, but nothing crazy to say about it. From Pokemon moving up to UU from NU, Golbat. This makes so much sense. I'm so happy to see Eviolite Golbat leave my tier. I actually cannot explain to you guys how broken and how powerful Eviolite Golbat was in NU. Over the past couple months, people have been using Eviolite Golbat in OU to great success. Like, people, like, to give you an idea of how broken it was in NU, people were using Golbat in OU as a Garchomp check. Like, that's how tanky this Pokemon ends up being. It's so absurd and so disgusting. It has access to U-Turn, Defog, Roost, the Brave Bird is super relevant, especially in OU when you have things like Conkeldurr. The Toxic is super nice. It can Toxic Stall. It's a really good Pokemon. Weezing, I also super understand. I've actually been saying that Weezing is super good in NU and super underrated in NU for a really long time. It only got moved recently because of people. I guess people gave it more attention due to it getting its reactive gas ability. But I actually think even with Levitate, it's just really. I think I prefer Levitate, honestly, especially in those higher tiers with more EQers. I think Weezing's a really cool Pokemon. I totally get why it makes this move. It's really difficult to answer. You pretty much need a Psychic attack going into it, and it has to be a special one to one-shot it. It's really tough wall to get through. It's a huge physical wall. It has really decent special defense bulk. It has Will-O-Wisp. It has Pain Split for sustain. It can Toxic. It has a surprisingly high special attack base stat. And will do really good damage. It slots in things like Flamethrower for coverage, or it can go like Ice Beam, or I think it can go Ice Beam. I know it can go Sludge Bomb, of course. It stabs Sludge Bombs, will do a lot of damage. It's a really good Pokemon. It's just a solid wall. This one is one I'll never understand. I mean, just because I haven't seen it in the tier. On paper, Rhyperior doesn't seem broken to me, but I have not been there in the tier, so I don't want to talk out of my depth. There have been many NU like legends and NU like veterans who have said that Rhyperior, like, they want it to work in the tier, but it's just way too strong. Every time it comes in, it just demolishes. So I want to trust them. On paper, Rhyperior has a very clear weakness. Rhyperior is a Pokemon that has an incredibly nice HP stat, attack stat, incredibly nice defense stat, but low speed and low special defense. It's clearly a Pokemon with clear weaknesses, in my opinion, that can be exploited, but I don't know. People don't seem to like it. People say it's too strong, doesn't work. I'll trust their judgment for now. But let's go ahead and move on to probably the most important things to talk about from this entire list, at least in my opinion. Absol is probably the one Pokemon out of these 4 that I think might actually stay in NU and actually probably deserves to, or belongs in the tier. Absol is a pretty weak Pokemon, unfortunately. Its best thing that it has going for it is having access to Sucker Punch and Swords Dance. Being able to come in, hopefully live one attack, pop up a Swords Dance, and then be able to pressure Sucker Punches is really nice. The issue is it's often not going to live that one attack. It's just so disgustingly frail. As well as just not really having any other utility to it. It's not like a very flexible mon. It only does one thing. Your goal with Absol is to set up a Swords Dance, be able to Sucker Punch, be able to Night Slash, hopefully be fast enough. The issue is Absol it doesn't do enough damage, and it's not fast enough, and it's frail. So it ends up like often costing you so much. It can end up doing a lot and just be like really difficult to answer if you are able to get that Swords Dance up and start Sucker Punching. The issue is it's just not good enough, in my opinion. Now, on to the 3 Titans that have just moved down to NU from UU, which has me literally rolling in my grave, just dying, laughing. I even made a first reactions video, you might have seen it, of me reacting to Alakazam being brought into NU, and I couldn't help but just I was wheezing laughing, dude. Alakazam and NU, I promise you, I would bet money on it. There is a 100% chance that Alakazam and Tentacruel both do not last in NU. Gligar could, but I also think Gligar will probably get moved back up. I think all 3 of those Pokemon will probably get moved back up to UU. They're just absurd. Gligar literally just got moved back and forth from NU to UU within the past couple months. It already got moved down and got moved back up because it was too good in NU. So it's really just a percentage game here. I think if you like Gligar, it's just really difficult to answer, even though it has a clear weakness of 4 times Ice. It can get rid of that due to Roost being able to remove that flying typing, and it can get access to Rock Polish and Swords Dance and being able to outspeed. It has a lot of versatility. It can set up Stealth Rocks. It's really tanky. It's really tough to answer. Alakazam and Tentacruel, man. Let's talk about them, I guess. And if you're here for the information of everything being out there, that's all been done. These are the last Pokemon, so if you're here for that, feel free to leave. I'm gonna keep talking about Alakazam a little bit. Alakazam is now the Pokemon in the NU tier with the highest base special attack stat. A comparable Pokemon before was something like Beheeyem, which is hysterical to compare them. So for those that don't know, Alakazam has a 135 base special attack stat, which is disgusting, and then a 120 base speed stat. Alakazam now has the highest base special attack stat in the entire NU tier, and then also it's tied for the second fastest speed stat in the entire NU tier, tied with Sceptile behind Ninjask, because Ninjask is Ninjask, so do we even count that? Whatever. But let's go ahead and compare to something like Beheeyem. Look at this. These are the two different levels of Pokemon that exist in NU right now. In my opinion, Beheeyem is a really cool Pokemon. I really like Beheeyem. I play it in Trick Room. It's a really fun Pokemon. It can be really interesting. There's a ton of Pokemon that are very similar to Beheeyem in NU that are really cool, really unique typing, unique move pool. Not really unique typing, psychic type, but it's an interesting mon that actually can work and has an extremely high base 125 special attack stat. But now this Pokemon's just completely invalidated by Alakazam. It was already niche, and I get that, but why would you ever run? Just to show you an idea of how strong Alakazam is over it, Alakazam is slightly less bulky than Beheeyem and just has a higher base special attack, and then also accompanied by 120 speed. Why? Why are these two Pokemon in the same tier? Alakazam is literally just Beheeyem with more attack and a million more speed, and then a little frailer. It's just absurd. It's just, I don't understand. And thankfully, they at least are suspect testing Alakazam immediately in NU, but what does that really even... I don't know. Does that really count for anything? I can show you guys. 52% win rate right now. Tentacruel is at 55%. I know there's very few games played right now, so we do have to ignore those statistics to some extent. We do just have to kind of wait and see. So it is being evaluated, I guess, but dude, we know it's gonna get moved. Alakazam will not last in this tier. I think maybe they were hoping that bringing Absol down with it. I mean, obviously these weren't decisions the devs made. These were just percentage moves. I assume they were hoping that bringing Absol down with it would help be a counter to Alakazam. Absol being able to come in, what's that? That Swords Dance Sucker Punch moveset is perfect against Alakazam. The issue is Alakazam is just so strong. Why is it in this tier? Why is it here? I don't think it'll last. It's just way too strong, way too good. Look at this. The only weakness it has is obviously its HP and defense, but it can become surprisingly bulky with its special defense stat, which don't discredit Alakazam's bulk with its special defense. Also, it's bulkier than you realize since it's psychic typing. It's only really weak to that, dark type, obviously in Ghost. But these really infrequent types, especially in NU. There's not that many types of those Pokemon. This is, to be fair, there's a decent amount of dark types, but not many ghost types and everything. This is it's just crazy. I can't believe Alakazam got moved to the tier. It's now the fastest, strongest threat in the tier. And that's compare it to something like Sceptile. So Alakazam has 135 base special attack, 120 speed. Sceptile is a good comparison in the similar speed tier with 105 special attack or 85 attack. And it's actually Sceptile, Sceptile is actually arguably, I would argue, it's frailer than Alakazam. It has slightly higher defense, slightly higher HP, slightly lower special defense, but it's also grass type, which is weak to more things generally in the metagame than Alakazam. It's those fire types are a little more common, Blaziken and everything, even though they're pretty rare far in between and NU, but it's just crazy. Plus look at this. 30 less special attack. The attack doesn't really matter. Sometimes you'll see the mixed Sceptiles with acrobatic flying gem, but it's not that great, honestly. And it's just shocking, man. It's just crazy. How can this Pokemon be in the same tier, as Alakazam, as that Pokemon? It's just, that's the state of NU, in my opinion. And Sceptile, I'm not looking at I'm not comparing a niche Pokemon in the tier to a demon at this point. Sceptile is the best grass type in NU. Sceptile, after Rhyperior and Venusaur both got moved, Sceptile is now the best grass type in NU. And it's just not that, how do you even compare it? It's just so weird that, it's just so crazy. Alakazam's nuts. Hopefully you guys, I don't know, let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the description below or the comments below. Tentacruel is insane. I can't fucking believe that Tentacruel got moved as well. The whole point of my reaction video was that I was reacting to Tentacruel being moved, and I was like, dude, there's no way. Tentacruel is an OU tier level Pokemon. I think Tentacruel could definitely be moved up to OU, dependent on the right metagame. It's a little dependent on the metagame, what's going on, but power level wise, it's so good. It absorbs Toxic Spites. It has access to Toxic Spites. It can spam good Scalds. Really bulky Pokemon, way bulkier than you realize. It's so tough to manage. Really high base stat speed. Tentacruel is one of those Pokemon very similar to Miltank, where it's a really good Pokemon in its own right, and then it just also has a random 100 base stat speed, which feels so out of, even if it didn't have this, if it was 80 speed or 60, I think it would still be pretty good. It would hurt it a lot, but it'd be pretty good still. Toxic Spikes, Rapid Spin, Haze, Sludge Bombs, Scalds. It's a really difficult Pokemon to deal with. It's really nice. It's really powerful. You see like Giga Drains on it and stuff as well to cover. There's so much nice coverage. It's just a crazy Pokemon. It's pretty nuts. I can't believe it's in this tier. I can't believe it got moved down. If I would say like if Jellicent didn't exist, Tentacruel would just be OU. Like it's on the power level. It mostly just gets outclassed by some of the bulkier waters that exist in OU. But I don't know. That's shocking to me. I actually think this is kind of a hot take, I guess, and you guys can disagree with me on this. I think Tentacruel is better than Melodic. I think Melodic is probably one of the most overrated Pokemon in NU, and in OU, excuse me. One of the most overrated Pokemon in OU, and it still stands its place here, which I'm kind of surprised by. I think Tentacruel is insane. I'd watch out for it. I guess it has X to recover, which is a big deal, honestly, so I guess Melodic has that over it. Maybe I could see the arguments. But that's it, I guess. A little bit of a ramble here. Just really surprised by these moves. Absol's fine. Alakazam and Gligar and Tentacruel I don't think will last. I don't think either of these will last in NU. I promise you Alakazam and Tentacruel will not last in NU. They'll get moved back up. But that's it for now, I guess. GG's. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like it if you did. Dislike it if you didn't enjoy the video. Leave your comments, feedback, concerns, all your own discussion in the comments down below. Check out my Discord link down below. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see daily PokeMMO content and uploads and news similar to this. And then I appreciate you guys' time. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Peace.